All right, thanks for staying with us. Despite the federal government's promises that petrol scarcity would soon be over, the scarcity of products continued. And yesterday in Abuja, Lagos, Oyo, and Ogun States, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, that's NUPENG, also directed its members to start compiling names of marketers holding premium motor spirit, that's the PMS, commonly known as petrol. Why am I rushing today? So, or selling the people that are selling above the official depot price also. Now, checks by Vanguard showed that there were long queues in Abuja, Lagos, and other states, mainly because of the difficulty associated with getting supply. And this no doubt has had a huge impact on the increase in traffic, especially here in Lagos, because I don't know about any other place. As citizens now, we're asking, what role do you think we have played in traffic management amidst this fuel scarcity? There's a lot of chaos on the road. We want to talk to ourselves. What are the roles that we have played? And now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. You can also tweet at us at WageShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WageShow. Okay, now, let me start with our Oga. Because you are the you are not only the you are the expert in the field, because you control traffic for Lagos for so many years. Now, this fuel scarcity thing and traffic, I wonder all the time. There's no fuel, yet you see unbearable traffic, right? I was so pissed yesterday. I had to do a video. I posted it online. That how can you suffer? Queue, get the fuel, you end up burning everything in traffic. Does it make sense? What exactly causes this traffic whenever we have fuel shortages and all of that? What is the real cause of that thing? What brings that scarcity?
Well,
that traffic, the chaos.
Yeah. Well, the chaos, obviously, when the demand for anything or product is in place and the supply is below the demand, then there will always be a queuing system. And so it's the numbers and the ratio that will determine how the queue goes on. Then we must also remember, at least in Lagos, some of us should be ashamed of the permissions that we've given to opening of petrol stations in certain places where really and truly if there was an event, what would happen? So there are some petrol station locations that really should not have been given approval because you have single narrow roads leading up to them. And if something should happen, it means traffic flow is never going to happen, all right? Then you have the normal hoarding system just to create an opportunity for you to make extra money.
Black market.
Every single time this happens, you just find out even the owners of gas stations, they will just hoard and they will sell and they will be collecting money to enter the petrol station. They will collect money from selling. They will sell at a higher price. And when you're coming out, you have to pay someone, all right? Or somebody will be doing side deals, be selling into kegs and everything, which is unsafe in its own. But in terms of traffic, right now what I've noticed, because I was out of town.
Fuel, yeah.
I was out of town, and then I heard about it, and I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen. So I extended my stay, thinking when the government came out and said, we guarantee in the next few days, everything is going to be sorted out and everything. So I took that to be serious, and I said, okay, everything's going to be fine.
And you came back.
And I came back.
And you got back.
Behold, I came to meet my jungle system, right? But in order to help ourselves, we need to be disciplined. And I think that is one thing when it comes to traffic that doesn't help. We need to sacrifice and we need to be disciplined. When I say sacrifice, there are some families that own 4 or more cars, all right? And because they have the ability to afford or to fuel them, they will still want all those 4 cars to be on the road. So they will still go out and send the drivers or whoever to go and queue. So when you have numbers of families doing that, then you multiply the queue. Then you also have those that are just totally selfish in terms of like, they meet a queue on the ground and they are not willing to wait. So as I was even driving to the studio this evening, the petrol station on Ahmadu Bello Way, it's got one entrance to go in, which means there are 2 lanes on Ahmadu Bello Way. You use the right lane to go into the petrol station. But when I got to the petrol station, they counted. There were 10 vehicles
trying to go
at
into
an angle,
one
trying
at
to
the
go
same time.
into one. Why would you do that? Because for you to reach there, you have passed other queue of motorists queue there, but
you feel you are more important or
you
what?
feel you're more important, you
You are
feel
more
like
desperate,
you're different,
yes.
or you have the money to pay for someone. It is just bad news.
Hmm.
And because we hardly care for each other when we are using the roads, that's why people park indiscriminately. That is why people overspeed. That is why people don't bother to look after their cars. Like when it breaks down outside, because you're not caring about
The
somebody
next
else.
person.
And that is where the citizens need to come. Okay, so there's a problem. But what actions do you take? What sacrifice are you willing to take to make sure that you do not
Contribute. Thank you.
You do not compound the existing problem that is on ground.
Okay, let me come. Let me come to Glory. Tell me, first of all, what has been your experience since the fuel scarcity started?
It's overwhelming. Today I stayed almost 4 hours in traffic.
4.
Yes. It's horrible, and like you rightly said, it's a matter of discipline when it comes to the citizens, because I found out, or I noticed situations where when people are going to the fuel station, there is a queue for that. You find people who are actually driving past, are moving. Those who are also going to go and get the fuel are also driving past that same, and there was there's just a stampede on it, and it's a horrible. And also the fact that people are so impatient, and you find due to the situation, there are so many people are really angry, so people exert their grievances on others, and there is the conflict and the fighting, and find people parked on the road trying to, and it causes more traffic. So that's a typical example of what I experienced today. It's so horrible. It's so horrible.
You know, Norma, you are the preacher of consideration.
You know, that is the only word that was at the top of my head when I was reading this topic, when I saw the news and information that has been going on towards the crisis situation in terms of fuel scarcity. And I was like, citizen role, it's all about consideration. You know what? I can't over preach this word, because until we have humanity across every of our actions, the way you drive on the road, the way you block off people. Just as you were talking, I was reliving my experience coming to the studio. I wanted to go through Mobile Station at the time, turn off at Mobile Station. The entire road was blocked.
They formed 5 lanes.
Completely.
Forgetting
and all
that
the way,
is a doorway.
all the way round. And that means the rest of us who are just commuters who don't want to get fuel, we don't have any business about it. I had to find alternative route. And I'm wondering, if we had very considerate Nigerian citizens who would queue properly so that others can have access to the road, things would be not so bad. If we have LASTMA officials, for example, who are helping to ensure that their responsibility of keeping the road safe and making sure that traffic goes easy gradually, so that it even relieves the citizens of the stress and the overwork that they're already experiencing at this point, then things will be a little bit more understanding. If people are queuing on the was it last week or 2 weeks ago when we talked about somebody who came to the filling station at 3 a.m. and only for some other big car to come and he was going to do and the man poured the fuel on himself and was going to light his body. The little fuel that he had, he poured it on himself and said, "We are all going to light up." And they started begging. Do we need people to
get to that level?
Drastic actions because of their frustration about the situation to be able to know that we have to have consideration and humanity at the heart of every of our actions?
So this thing is actually it's multifaceted. The problems are many. And I love how you started the foundation. You talked about permits, because it starts as basic as that. There are some areas that fuel stations have no business setting up there.
And
who permitted that structure to be built? Do Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because if we want to find solution, we must be honest enough to look holistically at the problem. There is a role of the citizens, both citizens as government officials and citizens as the citizens of the governed, right? You talked about that permit, and it was, I had not thought about it. Because if you look at it, there are like multiple fuel stations on Lekki Ekpe Expressway, for instance, because that is my own headache. Let me talk the one concern me. Nigerians were selfish, and I'm not going to lie about that. I'm here. So Lekki Ekpe Expressway has multiple gas stations. If you go and check all the gas stations that you are not able to tee off from the express directly into those stations, you hardly find queues there.
God bless you. No, there are queues, but not queues that is affecting.
Yes, that's it. What I'm saying. Flow. It does not affect. That's the word. It does not affect traffic flow. So while we are thinking and we're trying to structure a solution, why can't we do that? Then even for us as citizens, I've already stayed on this queue for a long time. You go just come from nowhere, pass all of us where they the queue. You just drive, say you won't go enter from front.
They start begging.
Then kegs.
Oh, and the Okadas.
Kegs.
And the Okadas.
Do you understand? Kegs are, instead of you to line up kegs decently, you will see kegs, they will not gather, So what I was even thinking, can we not have these fuel stations thinking to say, okay, let us dedicate one tank for just kegs alone. Because if the cars are moving, right? If the cars are moving, you would see that these cars, it will not be disrupted. If there is, buy, pay, go. Yeah. You're not selling to kegs, you're not selling to bottles. We dedicate different nozzles to different things. So kegs are on a line, cars on a line, and all of that. But they're not thinking of that.
No, they're not. They're not going to think of that, because in fact, you actually
stole extra money.
You actually stole some of the solutions that we should have preferred. In fact, the government needs to step in, because situations can happen at any time, right? I would have expected the government of the day right now to mandate all the petrol stations, right, that they must put a proper traffic management system in place. I.e., you have the metal barriers, so that even when you have entry into the petrol station that is more than one, you reduce it to one, so that the queue remains one. All right, so as you go in, many cars can go into many. So if 4 cars go in, they will still slot it into the thing. So it doesn't affect queue timing. All right. The other thing is like kegs dedicated, and even for the buses. Reason why I would want to lean towards the buses, because they carry more passengers.
Yeah, so they need to be on a fast lane.
They need to be on a fast lane. Give them priority. Let us, those of us that are
creating a bus lane.
That's what he's saying.
No, so I'm just talking when we have a crisis.
You have given them a bus lane on their own.
Yes, give them priority. Then the third thing is like mandate that because I could easily say let LASTMA officers be at every petrol station. That's never going to happen, all right? Because we don't have these situations all of the time.
We don't have enough manpower again, sir.
Well, apart from that, this situation is not every time. So this is like a special situation, all right? But what should happen is when a petrol station owner knows I now have petrol, I'm going to be selling at 2 o'clock or whatever, call LASTMA officer in your area and tell them, listen, I'm about to start dispensing fuel. I'm going to sell.
Ensure.
Get your men here and do whatever it is to help us manage these things. But no, they'll just start selling, and as soon as someone, so there's just complete chaos. And LASTMA is thinking nobody is talking to us, so that's not my primary assignment. And then when it gets dark, because of the way that inconsideration issue, when LASTMA stands and it's dark, and he's saying, sir, you cannot park here to go into that petrol station, trust me, it's 50-50. Either they beat him up or they use the vehicle to just knock him off because it's dark. And how many LASTMA officers are you going to put in there to start fighting someone who thinks the problem of fueling, the frustration in his life is LASTMA's problem?
On that note, I want to open our phone lines. Let us hear what you have to say. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Now, if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out. We have a gentleman, a ladies' man in our midst. And our focus tonight is the citizens' role in traffic management amidst fuel scarcity. Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag PlusShow. Now, our phone line is now open. Please, when you call, turn off the volume of your television set. The number to call is 07025007749. That's the number to call. Please remember to turn off the volume of your television set. So I was in Osun State. There was a particular gas station selling at a particular strategic junction. And you could see the chaos and the madness in the fuel station.
Yeah.
But you know that all that chaos, when I mean chaos, I think there were like 500 or 600 motorbikes scattered all over the place. You were just seeing heads everywhere. You remember how Oshodi used to look like? You just be seeing heads.
Yeah.
That was how the fuel station was. And there was a long queue for cars and different things and all of that. Do you know that it did not obstruct the traffic flow, not even for 1 second?
Right. What's that mean?
So is this madness unique to Lagos? That's the question. Because I don't understand how you are not even thinking about the next person.
But have you not noticed that they respect roundabout rules outside Lagos compared to Lagos?
Of course, when I grew up in
We're in the same country, the same set of people, we did tests the same way. But when you leave Lagos, people obey the rules of a roundabout. As soon as you get to Lagos, it's every man for himself. Whoever is ready to damage his vehicle to get in there, that's the person that owns the roundabout. I think from Beggar Junction, once you come in, there's a wave of the something. I think we
have our first caller.
He just grabs you and they say, I don't enter.
Time for impunity.
So you press another lever on your gear like this is madness mode. Right? Yes, so mad mode. There's M on the gearbox. Just put your M
mode.
Okay, let's go there.
Oh wow.
Like that.
We have a caller. Thank you for calling. Hello, are you there? Did you lose it? Okay, thank you for calling, Didi. From Warri. Please, is Warri showing us madness like Lagos?
Chaos like like Lagos.
Yes, Warri is something before Scarcity is alarming.
Wow. So tell us, what do you? Yeah, go ahead. We're listening. Oh, did we lose?
Hello?
Yeah, are you listen to us? We can hear you. Go ahead. Oh shoot. Okay, Didi, I think you're having challenges. So, what you said got me thinking. Because I think we need a madman to be the governor in Lagos. When I mean mad, I don't mean like insanity.
Yeah.
Like you must be very, very bullish. You must be very, very bold. Because I remember when Fashola was governor, right? You dare not, as a commercial boss, you would use the lay-by. You will go and park there and load your passengers and start moving. But now, all of a sudden, you are like today I was driving. Literally is madness. I'm driving on the road and you just stop abruptly. A passenger is coming down. You are still waiting for a passenger that is like 3 minutes away to come and enter the bus. So I'm just there because I am stuck behind you. I can't go left. I have to wait. And this is a continuum when it comes to these commercial buses, right? Don't you think we also have relaxed in terms of the enforcement of the law with the commercial buses?
Yes. And it is the truth. And it goes two ways. All right? Traditionally, who are the commercial bus owners, the operators? Because you need to do an exam. You can't just say, oh, come on, who are they? Where did they come from? What's the historical fact? Where did they come from? Who are they? Who's protecting them? Who is benefiting from them?
Hold that thought. Let me take
you
a
understand
caller.
what I'm saying?
Why are you there? Thank you for calling. Go ahead, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, you're live. Is it Didi?
Yes. The fuel scarcity in Warri is something else that you cannot comprehend.
Go ahead.
And if the government can do something about it by really trying to make sure that every filling station they have this road traffic management, it will have been better. And also the fuel that they are holding, when they get the tankers, you see them start selling it at night. It's also bad.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like, I mean, everybody's talking about this fuel situation, you know, but you were going to finish your thoughts. There are people protecting these people, and that's why
they must be protected, because I tell you, because I mean, enforcement officers, that includes the CBD people, LASTMA, VIO, all of them, right? You come out of your home, you're doing your work as you're supposed to, you pick up these drivers for doing the wrong thing and everything, and before morning, they've been released. They'll be out. So you're going to be frustrated, like, what's going on here? All right? And so invariably, that empowers the bus operators, like they're invisible. That's why you see them behave the way they behave, because they know that they have enough power to let them get away. If they don't have the backing and the power, then they also have the opportunity to just get into a bus and boom, they go back to Osun State, or they go to Osogbo. They disappear, and we don't have a system to flush all these people out. I've been involved in 2 accidents, and to date, even as GM LASTMA, I've not been able to locate the driver or the owner of the vehicle that hit me, that wanted to kill me.
Hey, whoa. Let's take Peter from Lagos, I believe. Richard from Lagos.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Richard. Thank you for calling.
Yes, I have to call today because this topic is touch my body very well.
Abio.
I love your guest in the studio today. The guy is just spot on. He's not one of these.
We love him too. That's why we brought him.
Lagos. Now, you know what? He said he hit the nail on the nail on the head. These guys are being protected. You know Lagos very well. Now, we talk about Okada. In the whole southeastern states, in the whole north, Okada has been banned. What is too hard to ban Okada in Lagos? Commercial drivers or Keke riders, they don't the traffic in only to this Lagos. Why? Because we know that, let's say, they need them for election. So nothing will happen to them. Nothing will happen. I see who has seen your video on Instagram, I don't feel sorry for you.
I was frustrated. 4 hours in traffic.
That's serious.
Going. Then when I was going back home, 3 hours.
That's 4 hours.
7 days of unproductivity.
I'm telling you, I could not do anything.
So how do you expect people to function when they get to the office?
So now let's look at the other side of the kind of people that we are as well. And I'll start from the intelligent and the not so intelligent, all right? So you have someone, a 17-year-old that just dropped into Lagos with the tomato bus, right? The next day he's been given a motorbike. So it's a motorbike operator. He's 17 years old, doesn't even have a clue about urban traffic situation in Lagos, right? But he's riding a motorcycle. And guess what happens? So now I have a master's degree holder, all right, that the government is talking to, that you guys are talking to all the day, like, listen, value your life. And he decides to be a passenger on that motorbike. And then he waits. Another graduate joins in. They become 2 passengers, no helmets, with a 17-year-old Nasarawa, look who has no direction, has just dropped into Lagos, right? And he's driving you against traffic. In the BRT lane that is already confined to 3.3 meters with a bus that has a right. And 2 graduates are there. And this Okada rider is driving you there, and something is not talking to you that if anything happens between the 3 of you, who has a chance of escaping?
It's the rider.
The rider is the person at the back. And if she is wearing one of those short skirts, tight and everything, she ain't jumping off the bike so fast. So we
wear jeans.
Exactly.
I don't climb bikes.
Do you understand? So there are so many things going on that it's not even helping the government, because the government is not going to start arresting passengers on the road without creating chaos.
Olajide, let me tell you, do you know that on Lekki Epe Expressway, I'm sorry, because we've not heard Glory in a minute. I'll call him back to you. Do you know that every day is almost like a constant now? Me, that if I see dead body before, I'll be shaking. Now, I'm beginning to develop a tough skin. Because guess what? This Okada thing you talk about, driving one way, they are so rampant. When you're going like this, once there's a traffic gridlock on the other side of the road, all of them are the opposite road, and they are claiming right of way. And like you rightly said, you are the passenger, you are allowing it. You know, is it that you do not value your life, or you trust this guy enough that nothing will happen? So I have seen dispatch riders get crushed several times on this road. I cannot count. Maybe this week I've not seen. We just started the week, it's Tuesday. Last week I saw two bike riders crushed. You just see them lie flat, dead. In fact, the other one I saw, it was like they were trying to gather his brains
and put it together.
So tell me, how do we even solve this problem? Because I believe that the majority of this issue that we're having is that impatience. Because I'll come back to you. It's the impatience that Glory talked about. Because if you are patient, it's just a 2-second delay. You will get to your destination. Let's just calmly wait. Take turns. So why is it difficult for us to take turns in this country? Let me come to you.
That's really, I feel like it's a negative habit that has just been there for too long, such that people now see it as normal. Now even the young ones coming up and saying this are going to say like, this is normal, everyone is doing it, why can't I do it? So that's just what is happening. The amount of you're talking about, just yesterday I almost witnessed someone die in front, just a matter of seconds, and it's because of impatience. We're on our lane and this bike was just driving past, and both the driver and the bike speeding. You
are driving against traffic
in the wrong lane. And in the wrong lane.
At first, I wasn't really conversant with axis, so I walked before in VI. So then there was the ban of the tricycle. So then there was these other buses that came in. I rarely see bikes, moving around. But when I got conversant with Aja, it's horrible. It's horrible how they move in between. And no patience at all.
You're on top speed.
Let us ask.
Recipe for death.
Who are the riders of these Okadas, especially when it's nighttime? Are they normal citizens? Are they military? Do they have backing and power that even when you arrest them, whoever is arresting, they better have fortification, because whoever is taken, will go back to wherever it's coming from, mobilize his paddies in the barracks or station or wherever, come up with your uniform and their guns and everything, and they will come and deal with you. That is why the person that has a wife and children to think of. You'll be thinking the same way, why don't you enforce? People say, enforce. When I enforce according to the law,
and I die,
and then I die, the best I'm going to get is sorry and some kind of small money that would not even do nothing for the family. So that's why they said, when you're crying, right, within the tears, better see well.
See well. See well. Let's take some comments.
So I have this comment from Taiwo in Ibadan, and he says, good evening. You do a good job all the time, Uwa. So that's feedback for you.
Oh, thank you, Tara.
I'm a regular listener of your show. I want to request that you bring, your hobby to the show. Someday. Okay. This is it. I didn't even...
Where can they look for?
Taiwo, what are you trying to monitor me?
But wait, am I not good enough?
I don't know.
My guy is here. It's good enough. But if you had one thing to say, because this fuel scarcity doesn't seem like it's going to go anytime soon. Right, so what can we do as citizens just to help ourselves? Because it's like we truly do not have love for each other at all.
Normally you would have said, okay, you know what? Why don't we just leave our private cars at home and use public transport?
Yeah,
so
where are the public
transport?
Yes.
Where is it? Even the one that average people are using, i.e. the buses, right? Look at the width of the bus and you're carrying 4 passengers.
Safety is even of the essence.
In fact, without
the small buses, those small ones, yes.
No, forget about the Koro place, right? I'm talking about even the Danfos, right? That seat, the length of the seat is just okay for 3 people.
But
and I'm talking about, but you take 4 people. So who wants his wife that is well endowed to go and be sitting in the back and we let one stupid person who doesn't have any common sense to come and be robbing and be grabbing? Because even from the back you can see that the fourth
sometimes
passenger,
they even put their hands.
no, they don't have a choice, because if you don't want to be touching what does not belong to you, you have to put your hand through the back, and that even then is like, are we lovers? The whole thing is messed up. You see, there's no control. Let's just say we don't have our large capacity buses, right? Mass transportation. Let's manage what we have, whatever, but we can still control. Why do you, that's why I said they're protected. Why are you allowing 12 passengers on a bus that should only be taking 6 or 7?
Wow.
Because the space between your knee and the seat behind you is normal, because if the vehicle should slam on the brakes on an emergency, you're going to have your necks that's going to be cracked. All right? So something is going on that is not right. The same thing I talked about, the planning permission. Someone is controlling this. If I say to you, this bus, for it to be registered as a public bus, this is the standard. The maximum sitting should be this, and it should not exceed. End of story. But no, we leave it to them. They don't even bother.
They even add extra seats.
Oh,
they
yeah.
even bother to
Guess
check.
what?
They remove the
Guess what? You know what?
seats
They don't
and
even
put
put cushion on the chair anymore.
It's on
It's
wood.
now
just on
wood.
and then the smelly conductor. The smelly
He's
conductor.
extending his arms to come and collect change.
Is it just the hands?
ooze coming
Oh,
out.
goodness me. We're in trouble, I'm telling you.
So, and that's why we have a lot of angry people on the road. So you see that you have gone through all of these things, you are angry, so it's a sad situation. But I think we've had a fantastic conversation, but I'll just plead with everyone, just show love, be considerate, right? And for the people that own fuel station, Oga has given you a simple solution. Call on the LASTMA officials around you.
Yes.
Tell them that, okay, you guys have fuel now. Let them come help you guys to sort out the traffic management and set up a
traffic management system. Put barriers to streamline
So that
entry into the, because once you put the barriers there,
people don't have a choice.
It now
They don't have a
occupies the
choice.
space that somebody else would want to use to double park and cause chaos, because it's just physical and it is dead. So you're talking to the driver like, these people are serious about it, but once you leave it open, but guess what? They like the chaos. You know why? Because they also have goons playing with them, collecting and jumping queue.
It's a racket.
So it's a big racket, and it is not nice.
On that note, we have come to the end of the conversation. But thank you so much. We had a fantastic. You see, this kind of ladies man is the kind of ladies man that we should be having on our ladies' night out. We really had a fantastic conversation. It was really nice for you coming to join us tonight. Thank you, Norma. Thank you, Glory. We had a fantastic conversation. Now, before we go, I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, do ensure you follow us on Instagram at WayShowAfrica, on Twitter at WayShowAfrica1. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our social media engagements, like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed the quote of today, here it is again. If I complain about a traffic jam, I have no one else but myself to blame. I think it's very deep. You need to look at it. Let's look inward, because if one person is considered, you are accountable to yourself. Every one of us become, and the sanity will be automatically restored. We'll see you guys live tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.